Good day, students. Welcome to mathgotserved.com. In this clip, we're going to be going over how to write linear equations given 2 points. The instructions are for us to write the equation of the line with the given information in slope-intercept form and graph. Then we are to label the intercept and rate of change. Now let's say we have the point that goes through the line, that goes through the given points. So through 4, -3, and 2, 4. So what's the equation of a line in slope-intercept form that goes through these given points? First things first, let us write down the formula that will guide the problem solving process. Okay, so let's write down the formula. To solve this problem, we are going to need two formulas. Okay, so the first formula is the point slope form of the equation of a line. So it's given by y minus y1 equals mx minus x1. As you can see, we need at least 1 point to make use of this formula. We also need another component, which is the slope m. If you take a look at what we're given in this particular problem, we do not know what the slope is. So how do we find the slope? That's the question. To find the slope, we're going to use another formula, which is to find this m component here. Formula number 2 helps us find m given 2 points. The slope of a line given 2 points is y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. This is known as your rise over run, also known as your rate of change. In this problem, you were asked to specify the rate of change on the graph. So that is simply the slope of the line that goes through these 2 points. Now that we've identified the formulas that we need, let's proceed with the problem solving process. If you take a look at the original formula, we need x1, y1, and m. And then in order to find the slope, we need x2, y2, x1, y1. So let's list all the pieces of information that we need. x1 is 4, the x-coordinate of the first point. We have y1, the y-coordinate of the first point is -3. x2, the x-coordinate of the second point is 2, and y2, the y-coordinate of the second point is 4. Okay? We also need to find, we need the m value, the slope. In this particular problem, it's unknown. So how do we find m? Let's write down the task that we're about to accomplish. We need to find m. So to find m, we're going to use the formula m is equal to rise y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Now when we plug in the values of x1, y1 and x2, y2, it yields 4 minus, now if you notice, y1 is negative, so please use a parenthesis here to avoid making sign errors. Okay? Anytime you're substituting a negative number into an expression or a formula or equation, you want to use parentheses. For the x's, x2 is 2 minus x1, which is 4. So let's simplify this. Minus times minus is plus, so we have 4 plus 3 divided by 2 minus 4 is -2. We're subtracting a bigger number from a smaller number. Our slope is going to be 7 over 2. -7 over 2 is m, which is also your rate of change. Now let's um, write down the original formula. We have all the components we need to generate the equation of the line. So let's rewrite the formula. We now have y minus y1. y1 is negative 3. We're substituting a negative number, so we use parentheses for safety reasons. M is negative 7 over 2. And then we have x minus x1, which is x1 is 4. Okay, let's go ahead and simplify this. Before we do that, what do we have right here? What we have is the point slope form of the equation of a line. Okay, so let's indicate that this is the point slope form. Point slope form. We were asked to find the slope-intercept form. Okay, the slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So what we have to do is simply get y isolated, and that will be the slope-intercept form. Okay, let's do it. In order to get y isolated, we're going to start off by getting rid of this parenthesis. That can be achieved by distributing negative 7 over 2 across these two terms in the parenthesis. Minus times minus is plus, so we have y plus 3 equals negative 7 over 2 times x. We yield negative 7 over 2x. Now what is negative 7 over 2 times negative 4? An easy way to avoid making errors when multiplying fractions with integers is to express the integer as a fraction also. So 4 is equivalent to 4 over 1. Why did I do that? We can clearly see that we are going to be multiplying the numerator with the numerator, denominator with denominator, and the sign with the sign. Okay? Minus times minus is plus. 7 times 4 is 28. 2 times 1 is 2. Let's go ahead and simplify that fraction. We have y plus 3 equals negative 7 over 2x plus 2 goes into 28 14 times. Almost there. To get y isolated, we will simply subtract 3 from both sides of the equation. And that yields y equals negative 7 over 2x plus 11. Okay, this form that we have right here is the slope-intercept form. That is one of the answers that we are asked to find. So this is the slope-intercept form. Alright, we're done with the first part. Now what we're going to do next is generate the graph of this function. Okay, let's write down, put down our axis. So we have our y-axis and then our x-axis. To generate the graph of this line, the graph of this function here in slope-intercept form, we need 2 points. Okay, at least 2 points define a line. So what's our first point? Our first point is going to be our y-intercept. Okay, so our y-intercept is the b value. B is 11. That's where we're going to begin. To find the second point, we're going to use our slope, negative 7 over 2, which means we will drop negative 7 units from 11 and run 2 units. Okay, now let's graph our points. We have 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's our y-intercept. That's the first point on the line. We're now going to drop 7 points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then we're going to run 1, 2. That takes us to the second point on the line. Let's go ahead and graph the line through the two given points. Alright, so there goes your line right there through the two given points through the 2 points that we graphed. So with this setup, we're now going to go ahead and specify the intercept. This is the intercept on our graph, the y-intercept to be specific, and then we need to indicate what our rate of change is. So what is the rate of change? The rate of change is the same thing as the slope, right? So what's the slope of the line? The slope of this line is -7/2. Let's indicate that with our slope triangle. So we're going to drop 7, -7, and run 2 units. So our slope, or rate of change, that's what we're asked to find, is given by, let's write it down, rate of change is from this triangle right here. So rate of change is equal to -7/2 because you're dropping -7 and you're running 2. Okay, so that's that. Thanks so much for taking the time to watch this presentation. We really appreciate it. If you found the contents of this presentation helpful in your study of generating equations of lines and also graphing them, do give us a thumbs up. Your positive feedback is very valuable to us. If you have any questions or comments about the contents of this presentation, just place it in the comment section below and we will be more than glad to support you. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for updates to other cool tutorials such as this. More clips can be found on math.serve.com. Thanks again for watching and have a wonderful day. Goodbye.